Yo, we live on YouTube. Oh, damn, this thing is very low. Peace to all the cyber fam. I'll get my nipple out the shot in a minute. Hey, peace, YouTube. Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome to Your Mind. Today, I was gonna feed the chickens. I came up here to feed the chickens, and it's this farm right now, and spending time at this farm, it really put things into perspective, because most of us aren't living from the understanding that everything outside of us is inside of us. Most of us aren't living under the understanding that everything that we experience is a reflection of what we are, is symbolic to what we are. But along my journey, and especially coming here now, I'm realizing that even more, that everything is so symbolic, and coming and tending to a garden and to a farm is just a direct reflection of that. So now it's like I get to see, very clearly and plainly what I'm about. If I'm the type of person who is diligent, who is on it, who's responsible, that's going to manifest differently on a farm. And growing your own food is going to manifest differently. Because growing your own food, certain plants require certain watering. Like, you gotta water, you gotta be on it as far as watering it. But if you're not the type of person who's diligent about that, you might let that slip by, and the plant might, you know, die. It might not survive, and might not make it because of your character. So we get to see a direct reflection of your character displayed in the external environment, and a farm is a good opportunity to do that, so now I've been realizing, like, damn, like, how I treat the outside and everything outside of me is just a reflection of my mind. Everything's a reflection of how I think and perceive reality, how I process thoughts. Even having a pet could be an example of that, and how you care for that pet. And for instance, if that pet is looking unhealthy, if that pet is not being well taken care of, that's just a direct reflection of you, because you are the owner, you are the what's taking care of that animal. So you got to be conscious that if that pet isn't looking up to standards, isn't looking and feeling healthy, then that's a reflection of you. You are responsible for that part of your external environment. And everything in your external environment should be a representation, or is a representation, a symbolic manifestation of what you are and what's going on in your mind. Because it goes deep, it's not just about the surface level things, about how you dress and how you look, and that also reveals a lot, but it's everything that's going on in your existence. How you let's say, for instance, something so simple like getting up out of bed and making your bed. Now, you might not look at that as a big deal, but in the grand scheme of things, it tells a lot about the kind of person that you are. If you've been disciplined your whole life, if you've been trained to have things a certain way, you're gonna be more liable to make your bed in the rise, in every rise, and you're gonna make it, and you're gonna feel a certain way about that particular thing. It's like that's gonna be something big for you. Somebody else might not care for it. They might just be like, get up every morning, every rising, and just continue on their day without making their bed. And then the other person be like that's a big became aware that this kind of discipline is fundamental to the mind, because it's connected. If you can learn to discipline yourself on little things like that, then that correlates with your mind and your willpower. It correlates with what's going on inside your mind and with the thoughts that you were having. If you're having the kind of thoughts that you want to be somebody who's trying to do something with their life, you are going to take different actions, and your life will manifest differently than somebody who's not really aware of what they want out of life. These kind of people might just set routine or not really having any set direction. But when you have something that you want out of life, and you know it, and it's present every waking moment, you're going to act as that. You're going to move in a certain way that's going to propel you towards that goal. So you get up every rising, and now it's not just fumbling around trying to find something to do. Now it's a routine that you have established, that you know is going to give you results, so that you can get quicker to your goal, quicker to your destination. So realize that if you don't have a routine for yourself, if you don't have something that you do on a daily basis that's getting you one step closer to your goals, then you probably aren't aware of what you want out of life. Then maybe you haven't truly discovered what it is that you want from your reality, what you want your reality to give back to you. See, the most successful people, they're diligent about what they want in life. They're very passionate. So every morning, every rising, they're waking up with purpose. They're waking up with a certain ambition, a certain about them that's just radiating that passion for what they want out of life. All they talk about, they eat, shit, sleep, talk about their purpose in life and what they want out of life. So every conversation, they're trying to steer it towards that direction. If you're talking to them about what happened last weekend at the club, they'll turn it into why what they were doing last weekend, which was eating healthy or going to a healthy restaurant, or even doing something one step towards their goal. So this is the kind of direction that they're headed in. Successful people are constantly passionate and focused on what they want out of life. So that you thing, and this goes for everything, because a lot of people they affiliate success with on or things in that world, a peace reflection, advance. So they correlate success with material possessions or something that correlates with Babylon. But success goes further than that. Success is merely aligning yourself with what you want out of life. That's when you get success, is when you're aligned with what you want out of life, and you're getting that from your, external environment. So in order to give yourself that, it doesn't matter if you're in Babylon, it doesn't matter. You just got to know what you want out of life, and then you could begin to align yourself with that goal. So if you say you want to live in tune with nature, you want to have your own farm, there's certain things that you want to start doing that is going to align yourself with that purpose, with that goal, with that destination in mind. So you might wake up every rising, you could grow some microgreens, grow some alfalfa sprouts, grow something very minute, but start learning about that. Get all the info, soaking up and absorbing all the information that you possibly can about growing food, because this is gonna propel you to want to go deeper into the rabbit holes that all have to relate to what you want, which is what, let's say you want to farm, right? You want to grow your own food, you want to garden. So there's many ways to do it, and there's so much information that you could learn. Like, we're in the age of information. This is what you understand. This so much break down, analyze, regurgitate, integrate into your life. And so if you're not using this tool, this very, very valuable tool, then you're missing out on the bulk of what this new age has to offer. So you go and you learn as much as you can about this topic. Go to people who have garden. Go to people who have successful gardens, who are doing permaculture, who are teaching you and how to have a thriving, sustaining, self-sustaining ecosystem. Go to those people, because in anything that you do out of life, you want to line yourself up with the people who are already doing that, who are successful at it, and who could teach you a thing or two about how to get things started and what mistakes to avoid and things like that. Ultimately, you're gonna have to take the journey for yourself, but that is very, very helpful, because those people already could give you some tips and maybe some mistakes that you could avoid if you could, just pay attention to what they did. So align yourself with people who are already doing that. So that's another strategy for success in getting what you want out of life. There's so many, find enough resources to keep you busy for the rest of your life on your journey to being a successful gardener. And that's how deep it goes. And anything, that you want, for every topic, there's a multitude of people who are already serving that. So when you realize that this is the inside of your mind, then you're gonna wake up with purpose. And this is what I was saying, that you move differently. You move differently when you realize that this reality is representing your mind. Like, this garden quite literally is representing your mind, how you cultivate, how you raise, how you treat, how you care and nurture for life is a representation. Because these plants, like, you think we're growing lettuces right here, but we're just growing a cell. We're caring for cells. This is just a different type of cell. This is plant cell. It has a nucleus. It has all the material. It has the DNA that makes it the type of cell that it is. But nonetheless, it's still a cell. And just like every other cell in this organism that we live on, we have to, learn to care for it. We have to cultivate it with a certain, uh, character. So if it's lettuce, it requires certain things, and we got to care for that, treat that like if it's us, because it is us. That lettuce is a representation of the inside of our mind. Everything is fractal. So the earth, in the shape that it's in right now, is just giving us, letting us know what's going on with the planet. It's in turmoil. We're doing shit wrong. We don't know how to care for it. We're eating the wrong way. We're living the wrong way. We're not doing things right. And the planet is showing that. The planet is symbolic of that. It's showing us the inside of the collective consciousness, the collective mind that is humanity. Humanity is represented by the internet. So when you go on the internet and you type in and you go to the most watched videos and to the most popular videos on the internet, the viral shit, the shit that's going viral, that's just giving you a representation of the mind of humanity at this moment in time. So you'll notice that it's not so focused on being in tune with nature. It's not so focused on being self-sustained and being eco-friendly. The collective consciousness is focusing on things like humor, things like drama, things like, things that aren't in tune with healing the planet. So what our job is the assistance to the planet, the assistance to the earth. We are the earth and we're assisting in the healing of the earth, is to share and make viral the information that should be popular to heal the earth. So we gotta start making trends out of the shit that's good for the planet. We got to make it cool to grow your own garden. We got to make it dope to be in tune with nature. We got to show you the benefits of that, and why if you ain't in tune with that, then you on the losing end, because anything that's not in tune with nature, that's not in tune with the earth, ultimately isn't going to be here for very much longer, because as the earth begins to cleanse itself, as the earth begins to go into a different stage of its development, is growing up and maturing and becoming more of what it truly is. And more of what it truly is leaving out the shit that's not in accordance to what serves its highest purpose. So it's like, look at the earth as somebody going through a metamorphosis in their life. Like, people go through these things in life all the time, like they wake up, right? Go through the different layers of consciousness. So they're waking up to certain realities and they start doing things differently. They let go of people that no longer serve them. They stop eating foods that is toxic for their body. They start cleansing their body. They start living a certain way, talking a certain way, listening to a certain music. So all of this is things and actions that they take because they're leveling up their consciousness, they're leveling up their being, they're becoming more mature and more in tune with who they truly are. So just in the same way, also the earth is evolving its collective consciousness as the organism that it is. So naturally it's going to let go of the things that no longer serve it. So one of the things that no longer serve it is the level of consciousness within humanity that is destroying the being that it is. So it would make sense that it would then go and create certain phenomenon, certain disasters, what we call natural disasters, but it's nothing more than the alignment of this organism with its own higher purpose. So it's just trying to cleanse itself to become more of what it already is. So just look at it in that way. So if you look at the earth in that way, and you look at yourself in that way, you look at everything in that way as a constant evolution to become more and greater versions of what we truly are, then we could begin to look at things differently. Now we don't just see plants, we don't just see trees, we look at living organisms, we look at DNA unraveling and manifesting itself in many different ways. We look at a reflection and extension of ourselves through a different mechanism, through different facets that it's expressing itself in the most beautiful and creative ways. Like a plant blooms and gives flowers, it doesn't look like a human being, but it shares innate beauty that's unique to that organism because it has that genetic material that is meant to express in that way. Like humans have their own genetic material, we'll have our own beauty. Every organism has its own beauty because it was designed a certain way, it evolved a certain way, and over time, we see it as time, we see it very rare, but nature is really timeless, it's eternal, but it's morphing and alchemizing itself into many different forms that fit its best interests. So you see these organisms that evolve over time, what we call time, but it's really non-existent, but it's a progression of over generations of an adaptation. And the way I look at it, it's not even it's like consciousness controls biology. So over time, and everything is consciousness. So even if you have like a fruit or you have a plant, that plant is consciousness. So that consciousness over time uses its consciousness to manipulate its biology. So it's using, even a plant that's limited in its consciousness, like a plant doesn't have the same consciousness as I do it right now, as I express myself and I can articulate myself in the form that I do, but it does have a consciousness that means awareness. It could detect temperature, it could detect moisture, it could detect different levels of awareness within this environment. So it has that level of consciousness. But over time, the way I look at it is that it uses its consciousness to manipulate or to change and adjust its biology to its best needs, and that's what we call evolution, right? It appears slowly, because of the level and dimension that we're on compared to that plant. But in reality, if we could look at it for what it really is and shrink the time down for it to look to us like it was short amount of time, it would look like that plant kind of like moving quick. Like just like if you had a punch thrown at you and you move quick, that's how that plant would look. It would look like it would be adjusting itself to adapt to its environment to fit its needs. So now a plant will begin to grow maybe some thorns. It'll grow thorns using its consciousness. It'll manipulate cellular biology to that consciousness, and it'll congregate more cells into that area, and different types of cells will make up that area, and it'll pull material from its other parts of its being to start forming and shaping this thorn, because it knows that if it shapes this thorn, it's going to have a less likelihood of being ambushed by predators or certain things in its environment eating it up and not propagating its seeds as it would like. Over time it uses its consciousness to form a thorn maybe, or form something else, but it's slowly manipulating its biology to best to create something that'll best suit its needs, right? So that's the way I look at life in general. Even us, we're constantly manipulating our reality, using our consciousness to best suit our needs. So whenever you want something out of life, you don't even look at it that way, but let's say you're a teenager, you're in your parents' home, and attract that to your life. So that is truly what this reality is just merely a manifestation of your mind. If you can see things in that way, if you could walk this reality knowing that if you have people in your life that are destructive, that means something about you. If you have people in your life who are willing to help you and always bettering themselves, that's a reflection of you. If you know that the way you carry yourself, and even something so simple as your skin is a reflection of you. If your skin has if is sick, if there's sickness on your skin, that'll say that you're not taking care of yourself, and you got to analyze yourself. You got to be honest with yourself. So I will recommend everybody to do this. Go in the restroom, take off all your clothes, and take a hard look at you, and just be like, is this how I want to look? Am I healthy? Am I truly healthy? Or is there things about my being, my physical being, that I could work on in order to make myself upgrade myself, push myself to the next level? Maybe I need to be working out. Maybe it would help me, it would benefit me to do a workout a couple times a week. It would benefit me to eat better. It would benefit me to get some sun. Maybe I need some sun. I'm lacking, some pigment in my skin, or I have some skin conditions that need healing. So it's very easy to point things in our reality, to notice them, but you gotta be willing to see what most people don't want to look at. You gotta be willing to take a look at that, and then after that, you gotta be willing to take action to heal those parts about yourself. See, most people don't even want to look, much less even take action, because action requires changing your life. It requires a dedicated effort. So just do that. Just be honest with your reality, because you got to realize that this is you. This is your reality. And the sooner that you realize and accept that this is you, this is your reality, this is your being, this is your vehicle that you've been given in this lifetime to manipulate matter with. Once you realize that, then you're gonna want to take care of it. You're gonna want to, use it to its fullest potential. And that might take some work because most of us were dropped off with a lot of information that doesn't serve us. We put a lot of time and energy and effort into killing ourselves, into poisoning our own bodies. So it's like now we're going back and we're healing and doing the work that we need to do on an emotional, physical, and all type of level. But nonetheless, the sooner the better. So I would recommend start now. Start healing your mind, just like there's patterns in biology and genetics and DNA. There's patterns in the cosmos. There's patterns in the astrological alignments that have influence over our beings as we have observed over millennia. So that is definitely something that you want to look into. Look into the patterns of your mind, study yourself and what you are, and the things that you tend to do and things that you could work on and improve on. Look at your body, see if you need work on your body, if you need to eat better and look better and feel better. Study everything about yourself and your reality, your people in your life, your relationships. Look at your patterns, your day-to-day routines, see how you can improve upon that to get closer to your goal. Don't know what you want out of life? Figure that out first. Figure what you want out of life. Get that together. Once you have that together, you can figure out, let's get motivated. Let's motivate each other, because we all got to be our best self. That's what we came here to do. We came here to face ourselves and level up and grow every single day. And I'm just putting it on camera for y'all, So I've been in this journey, I've been just that part of a stage in my life where I was just cleansing my body and trying to figure out what this machine was, from that, whoa, what the fuck, like what you get yourself into. But at the end of the day, it was all learning experience. I'm grateful for it because it made me a better person. It made me a better speaker. I made me a better speaker because I put myself in a position so that I could grow. Anything you go through life, nobody did it to you. You did it to yourself. So you did it to make yourself better, and know that you walk out of every situation with as much positivity as you allow yourself to see. So if you only focus on the negativity, then you probably only see the negativity. But if you allow yourself to see the positive and learn how that made you better, then you will always walk out winning out of every single situation. It doesn't matter. It's just making you stronger. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, that's all I wanted to share with y'all today. I just wanted to go live on YouTube because I just want to share the widescreen. I've been going live on Instagram a lot, but I'm just so happy and so thankful that I could connect with y'all and to have this experience and share with all of y'all. And if you want to build, just hit me up, hit me on the Instagram. We're making a Patreon right now, so making a community environment where people could donate and people could be a part of the movement that we got going on. We got some goals, like I was just saying about setting goals. We got goals that we have set, and we have a lot of things that we're doing and sharing with people so that you will be able to support and quite literally watch this unravel before your eyes, because we're all creating something. We're all powerful creators. We're manifesting and alchemizing different parts of our reality to build something. And what we're building with y'all, and what we're building this physical world, is something truly beautiful. And the vision that we have, we'll share with you very soon, but the vision that we have is just beautiful, and I can't wait to share that with y'all. But just stay tuned for that. And like I said, if you want to hit me up, Instagram is Rambo_1_.